So here we meet again in our English class with me, Miss Oleha. So for today's lesson, we are going to learn about Gulliver's Travel. Okay, so I am going to read aloud the story for you all. Well, before we get started, can you still remember the lesson that we have learned about Gulliver's, which is the parts of ship? Good job. So there are some parts of the ship that we have learned in the previous lesson, which are sail, anchor, and more. Alright, so comment parts of the ship that you can still remember from the previous lesson in the comment section, as well as write your full name. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna read aloud the story for you all. Alright, Lemuel Gulliver set off for an adventure by sea. Okay, so basically he went for an adventure. He go by the sea, okay, through the sea. He was caught in a storm and then stranded on an unknown island. Okay, so basically when we are at the sea, anything can happen because sea is very a dangerous place for human beings. So then he was caught in a storm and then stranded on an unknown island. Alright, so the island was inhabited by tiny people. Okay, so he was stranded in an island surrounded by tiny people. Okay, and then they took control of him by forcing him to the ground. Next, all of these tiny people took Gulliver to the emperor of the island. Okay, so the emperor of the island named Lilliput. So he was forced to stay around in that island with several conditions. Okay, so the condition is he was needed to defend Lilliput from Bellifuska invaders. He walked to the opposite islands and captured the ships. He refused to hand the ships to Lilliput. Okay, so basically this is his technique of defending Lilliput, the island which surrounded by the tiny people. Alright, so he helped them by capturing all of the invaders' ship. Alright, so Lilliput's palace caught on fire, and then Gulliver urinated on the fire at the palace. So basically, he just wanted to help set off the fire. Well, Bokolam was angry and voted to end Gulliver's life. A warning from a council member made Gulliver decide to leave for Bellifuska. So basically, Gulliver's life was threatened, and then he decided to leave the tiny island. In Bellifuska, Gulliver salvaged a stranded boat and left for open sea. He was saved by a ship the day after, and then he returned to England, his hometown, and then he was very happy with his adventure and looked forward to another adventure. So basically, he's a man who loved for adventurous life. Okay, and then this was his second adventure. Okay, the first adventure, he went to an island which surrounded by tiny people. Well, the second adventure brought him to a land surrounded by giants. Okay, giant means the people here are very, very big. Okay, soon Gulliver set sail again with Captain John Nicholas. They landed on an island. He was left stranded when his shipmates ran away after being chased by a giant. Okay, so basically one of Gulliver's friends was chased away by the giant. Okay, and then Gulliver then realized that the island inhabitants were giants. Gulliver ran and found himself in a giant cornfield. He was then found by a giant who took him to his master. Okay, so basically Gulliver ran away and then he ended up in a cornfield, in a giant cornfield. Okay, so then they brought him to their master. They brought Gulliver to their master. And then the master carried Gulliver home to his family. Okay, the daughter of Gulliver, whom Gulliver named Glendalclitch, took care of Gulliver. So basically, the giant took Gulliver home to meet his daughter. And then Gulliver then traveled the country performing shows until he was bought by the queen of the giant. He stayed with the queen and he was attacked by big animal. So basically the queen and king of giant asked Gulliver to stay with them, and then while he was staying with the queen, he was attacked by big animals. And then during one of the trips with the royal family, okay, they went for the trips together, he wanted to go to the beach, and then a royal servant brought him to the beach. While he was there, a crow grabbed his traveling box or closet and threw it into the sea. So, well, the people there is giant. Of course, the crow is also a giant crow. So that is why the crow can simply grab the traveling box and throw it into the sea. Okay, well, the problem is Gulliver was resting inside it, and fortunately he was found by a ship and saved. Well, again, Gulliver was very happy with his adventure and wondered if his next adventure would be as wonderful as his last travels. Alright, so basically Gulliver, we can say, is a very brave and adventurous man. Okay, the end. So that is the story of Gulliver. So basically Gulliver is a man who loved to travel and loved adventure. Alright, so that is the story of Gulliver's Travel. Your task, okay, you have to actually produce a comic of Gulliver's Travel story. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the sentence pattern that you can use to create the story. Okay, so basically this is the sentence pattern for you all to come up with the comic. Okay, your comic doesn't necessarily have to be long and comprise a lot of word. Okay, your comic, I suggest to be short, simple, and visual and colorful. Okay, so this is merely the example of the sentence pattern that you can use. Okay, so make sure you comprise the sentence pattern into a short story. Okay, just make it short, simple, and understandable for you and the reader to read. Okay, so how are you going to create your comic? Therefore, look at the link in the description below. Just click the link. I've made a video on how you can create your comic using Pixton. Okay, so from the video you can learn how step by step you can make the comic. You don't have to download any apps, any things that can burden your phone. You can just on Google, on web. Okay, so that's all for our lesson for today. Click the link in the description to see how you can create the comic. Okay, so please pause the video so that you can better see the sentence pattern. Okay, so this is the full image of the sentence pattern. Okay, so this is the full image. So you have to screenshot this sentence pattern and then use this as your guidance to create the comic. Alright, so thank you. That's all for today. Thank you for attending the class and watching the video until the end. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so that you can receive the latest updates on your English class. Alright, so bye bye till next class.